What is up, Film Geeks? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to my channel. With Black Widow hopefully coming out later this year in November, instead of reviewing each individual movie inside the MCU leading up to Black Widow, I thought it'd be a lot of fun to go back and review and rank each individual phase leading up to Black Widow. So today we are starting with Phase 1, and I am not doing this alone. I am joined by one of my good YouTube pals, AJ from AJ Reacts 2.
AJ, how you doing, my friend?
What's up, man? I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on the channel. This is my first time on the channel.
Welcome to the channel, bro. I'm glad to have you on. I know we've done things before in the past, but so this is a long time coming. But today we're ranking Phase 1 of the MCU. We're gonna go. I'll give my 6, you give your 6, and then we'll go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, and 1 and 1. And if you are ready, you can go ahead and start, my friend.
All right, man. I would say so. We are starting from least favorite to favorite, or favorite
yes,
to
sir.
least favorite?
Least favorite to favorite.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with the Incredible Hulk. It just I part of me I did enjoy it, but I think it was just the nostalgia aspect of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of poorly made. I do enjoy Edward Norton's work, so I don't know exactly what didn't do it for me, but I'm gonna have to say Incredible Hulk for my least favorite. What about you, man?
I am right there with you. Number 6 for me is Incredible Hulk. I've watched this movie twice, and it's an MCU movie I don't ever want to revisit. It's kind of like the lost puppy inside the MCU movies, like one no one really talks about, and kind of for good reason. It seems boring at times, and it doesn't seem like an MCU movie. It doesn't have that MCU flair, and it's in the early stages, So I'm not the biggest Edward Norton Hulk fan, but came to Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo is my Hulk, so that kind of messed me after seeing all these other movies. Watching it back, I'm like, that doesn't do it for me. But the end battle's pretty cool with Hulk and Abomination, but I don't like how Hulk looks either. Hulk he looks like a boy bander who's a Hulk. It's super weird.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
that's what I was feeling the same way.
Yeah, early MCU stages, so it's not entirely their fault, but I don't need to see a whole-on Hulk movie anytime soon. But
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So what's your number 5?
Number 5, I'm gonna have to say Iron Man 2. It wasn't the worst for me, but it certainly wasn't the best. I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't really speak to it that much. But I remember enjoying Whiplash a little bit. I think more than others. So
yeah. That's your number 5. So it's funny, that's also my number 5, Iron Man 2.
I wonder if we're gonna have the same list.
Phase 1 might be. Phase 1 might just be. Iron Man 2, it doesn't do what Iron Man 1 did so well. It's not as bad as I think everyone says. I definitely have some fun with it. RDJ is witty, he's in there, but Whiplash I feel shouldn't have been in there at all, because he wasn't in there that much to begin with. Sam Rockwell's character is definitely more of the villain inside the film, but you get introduced to Black Widow. You got the Tony Stark, Pepper Potts kind of dynamic, which works really, really well. And what's your number 4?
Number 4, you're probably not going to agree with this one. This is not going to be the same number 4 as yours, but I have to go Iron Man. I know.
You lost me there.
I know I did. I have my own feeling. I have a past with Tony Stark. I didn't like Tony Stark. Then I didn't like him even more, and then I kind of liked him, and then an Endgame blew my mind. So, but the first one, I just wasn't that impressed with just the subject matter, and also while he was in the cave, it felt like it was an extra long scene, and also the end battle, it didn't captivate me. I thought it was a little mediocre, but that's just me.
Okay, so my number 4 is going to be Thor, and I enjoy Thor quite a bit. It just definitely seems like an early phase MCU movie as well. Kind of like the story of Thor. No one really knew who it was, who this is, and Chris Hemsworth's probably not his best acting credit for this film, but And I'm not the big Jane Foster fan, and like her friend, I forget
Mm,
her friend's name, but I'm not their biggest fan. It seems
yeah.
kind of weird whenever Thor's on Earth, not as like exciting as it was when they were on Asgard towards the beginning of the film. So it always kind of
Yeah.
loses me right in the middle a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
still
kind of a tonal
enjoyable.
shift.
Yeah, and it's still kind of enjoyable. You get to see Hawkeye for the first time, and you have Thor's funny lines. Like the funniest line in the film, he throws the mug on the ground, says another. And that's
Another.
yeah, always so funny. But other than that, Thor just again, it's not one I these three on my bottom aren't ones I revisit too often. So Thor is
Gotcha.
not horrible, but definitely not my favorite either.
Yeah,
What's your
I
number
feel that.
3?
Number 3 is going to be Captain America: The First Avenger.
Mm.
And yeah, like I did have fun with this film, but there were moments that I kind of got distracted, kind of like wasn't really completely captivated
Yeah.
into it. So yeah, overall it was cool, but I liked to see him in modern day times more than in the past. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I agree
yeah,
with
what
you.
about you, man?
My number 3 is also Captain America: The First Avenger.
Okay.
I haven't watched this movie in a couple years, so I definitely need to go back and revisit it. But like,
Mhm.
the part that always kind of drives me insane was like he's on like his little tour of like Captain America, like doing that weird show. I'm like,
It's so cheesy, man.
what is going on?
It's
And then
so
like
cheesy.
through World War II, it's cool, but they do definitely like a little montage through it. You're kind of
Yeah,
like, this is
that.
kind of weird. That always
Yeah,
felt out of
yeah.
place to me.
I kind of like that montage though. Like
Yeah.
it kind of fit, but it was also kind of cheesy. So I
Yeah,
get where you're
exactly.
coming from
And
with that.
this movie had like definitely had the cheesiness for sure, but
Mhm.
I think that for people who like love this movie so much, I've never been that guy. This was always like
Mm,
outside my
mhm.
top 10 MCU. Like I think it's good,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's
for sure.
enjoyable, but everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's one of the best." Like top 10. I'm like, top 22 for sure. But other than that,
Actually, honestly, none of these Phase One films are in my top 10. So
wow, 2 of them
yeah.
are for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So coming in that, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is going to be the Avengers, the first Avengers film, and I actually really, really enjoyed this film. I know some of my buddies, they're like, "Nah, it was kind of boring. It wasn't
That's
all
weird.
that." But yeah, that's so weird to me to think about. But it just blew my mind in theaters. I had to see it twice in theaters.
Yeah.
It was just like one of the most epic crossover team up films that just ever existed. Like I don't even know if we ever had anything like that beforehand. But yeah,
Yeah.
it blew my mind, bro.
Oh, for sure. And
What
the
about
people
you?
who say my
Oh,
number
yeah.
2 is not the Avengers. The people who say like it's boring. It's like in the beginning, I agree it's a little slower as they're building the team, but like it can't be action packed nonstop. It has to
Right,
have some
right.
like depth to the characters and build
Yeah,
up.
and a build
So
up. Yeah.
yeah. But my number 2 is going to be Iron Man. I love this movie.
Okay.
I think it is great. I love the cave
Cave.
scene with Iron
Cave.
Man. And like as he's like our Tony Stark becoming Iron Man, building his suit with a box of scraps, as we get to see Jeff Bridges' character
With a
yell.
box of
But
scraps.
yeah, he gets so angry about it. But Tony Stark's like just like getting to see Robert Downey Jr. bring this role to life was everything for me. And I didn't see Iron Man until like probably 2011, like right around the time of the first Avengers.
Oh,
So yeah, I was late to the MCU. I really was. So when I got to see it, I was like, wow. And I rewatched it this year, and I was like, this movie's fantastic. And Robert Downey Jr.'s like, please, no gang signs. Funny, witty, and like the cave scene might be a little too long, but that to me, I was like, wow, he truly became Iron Man. And of course, they finish off the movie with a bang, with saying, I am Iron Man, and it's
yeah,
done.
that was mind blowing in itself,
Yeah.
like how it ended like that.
Yeah, so it was one of the cooler moments in the MCU for me. So that's my
For
number
sure.
2, and I already know what your number 1 is. What's your number 1?
Thor is gonna be
I
my number one.
know. That's crazy.
Thor is my number one. I had so much fun in the theaters. The reveal of Loki being a frost giant, just everything that film entailed. I really enjoyed pretty much. So
Okay.
I don't know. That's my number one, bro.
That's a new one. I never heard that one before. My
Yeah.
number 1 is going to be the Avengers, pretty much solely because this is one of the first team up movies, as you said. But also that Battle of New York is still a fantastic battle, one of the best battles in like cinematic history, let alone the MCU.
It really is.
And I love how powerful Loki is in this movie. Like he's like whooping on Thor. He's like throwing Iron Man out windows. He's so powerful. And then they kind of make him more like the joke character throughout, rather than like a powerful demigod in a way. It makes me kind of upset, but Loki was a menacing villain. Captain America, Tony Stark, all these characters on screen together was something I didn't know I needed, but when I got it, I was like, I want more. So
exactly,
the Avengers is my number one, and that's gonna do it for our Phase 1 ranking. I gotta say, I've never heard Thor at number one for any list ever.
Yeah, but I mean, Thor. Like I said, none of these films are in my top 10. So
yeah, I hear you. Well, I appreciate you doing this. I'm glad we finally got you on the channel. Hopefully we can get it up soon. I really appreciate you doing this, man. AJ, where can the people find you?
Bro, you can find me on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. And then you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Letterboxd, AJ Reacts 2, all one word, all across the board.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
come find me and enjoy.
Yep. I really appreciate you doing this with me, man. And hopefully we get a couple more collabs here in the future.
Yeah. I'm pumped, bro. I'm pumped. Yep. I'm ready.
Yeah, I appreciate it, my man.
Later, bro.